Hey, what's going on everybody? In this video I'm going to be showing you how to rank your local business in the top 3 results in Google Maps. This is a process that works for us just about every single time. We've done this for dozens and dozens of local businesses at our agency. It's really not that complicated. There's a whole lot of information online about should you do this or should you do this. If you just follow this spreadsheet that I'm going to leave a link to down in the description, this is the exact process that we take our clients through, and it's allowed them to reach some pretty good results from their Google business profile. In some cases, they're getting over 100 calls in a month. In other cases, they're getting over 200 calls in a month. And then in some, they're getting over 300, halfway to 400 calls in a month just from their Google business profile alone. And so what we do here works pretty well. And again, it's not complicated. There's a lot of information. There's a ton of videos on YouTube about how to do local SEO. But the thing that's missing from a lot of them is a process. This spreadsheet here, it's broken down into 3 different parts. Today, we're really just going to be focusing on the Google business profile part. In a future video, I'll be doing the website piece, and then I'll be talking about how to fix your citation and now also build backlinks. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just hop right into actually executing this. So this is the client that we're going to be doing the optimizations for in this video. As you can see, they've got really great reviews, and so that's a really strong start. But to be honest, the rest of their Google business profile has a lot of mistakes. These are mistakes that they probably didn't see or probably didn't notice themselves. But as we go through our spreadsheet here, I'll show you how to spot those and get those corrected really quickly. So let's go ahead and get into the sheet. The first thing that we're going to want to do is fill out a competitor sheet. The competitor sheet is really just showing who the top 3 businesses are right now for the keyword that we want to rank for. For us, we want to rank for roofing, Beaufort, Georgia. And when I type that keyword into Google, these are the 3 businesses that come up. And so when it comes to finding out who these competitors are, that's exactly what you need to do. Just come over here and type in your main service that you want to rank for, the city name, and then the state abbreviation. Once you've done that, just click on Maps, and you will have those 3 results right here. Now what you're doing from here is really just filling out all of this information as it appears on their Google business profile. We'll take a little bit of time to go through these. We can see here that Universal Roofing and Construction Inc. has 246 reviews. So that's something we'll plug in right here. Their average rating is a 5.0, so we'll go ahead and plug that in right here. Now responding. This means are they responding to their reviews? And in order to find that out, just go to the Reviews tab and scroll through and see if you see any response to the reviews. As we can see, that's not happening. If we look back at our profile, we can see that there are responses, but only some of them are being responded to. And so that's why I put some on our rating and then I put no on their rating. So pretty self-explanatory. It is really important to respond to every review, but in this case, no one's really doing it except for that last competitor there. So categories are extremely important when it comes to ranking for a desired keyword, and our category is completely wrong when it comes to what we want to rank for. We actually have general contractor as our primary category, which is not correct, because if we go back and look at our competitors, all of their primary categories are roofing contractor, as you can see between the 3 business profiles. So I went ahead and I plugged in all of the categories I can find for each business. I plugged in the primary up top and then the secondary categories down below. I'm not using the plugin on this browser, but there's a plugin called GMB Everywhere. And what that plugin allows you to do is it allows you to see all of the different categories that a business is using, and all of that information is displayed when you're searching on Google Maps. But I'm not using it in this browser. I used it in another browser when I put this sheet together. Go ahead and go download it. It's a great plugin, especially when you're doing your research, and it can come in handy for a lot of other things as well. Okay, so let's get on to images. In order to find out how many images a business has uploaded, it's actually pretty simple. Just click on that business and then hover over the main cover photo, and that number is going to be right here. For your own business, you kind of do the same thing. View it within Google Maps, and then just hover over the cover photo and you'll have your number. So go ahead and punch all of those in right here. Next, we want to see if a business is posting on their Google Business Profile. To find that out, you can do that from Google Maps, but you can also do it just from Google Search. Just scroll down a little bit and you're going to see these little cards here. A post is exactly as it sounds, and it's the same thing as what you would see on social media. You can post text with a picture and then a link that goes somewhere. These posts can be added to your Google Business Profile to give people updates, promotions, just various things that are happening at your business, and they just keep your business profile active. People do see the posts, people do see the offers, so it's always a good idea to do them. So I see that we're posting, but I put March 19th because that was the last time that we made a post. You don't have to really mark down when the last time a post was made. We're just doing that to get a benchmark how often they're doing this. So you'll want to repeat that for the other 3 businesses as well. Next up is answering Q&A. On a Google Business Profile, sometimes you'll see this here. Just go ahead and click on it and see if it's responding to the questions that are being asked. In this case, our client is, so we went ahead and said yes. In some cases, there's not going to be a Q&A because no one has asked a question. That would generally appear in this section somewhere, but since they don't have it and neither do our other 2 competitors, the assumption is that there is no question and answer section, so we're just going to say no Q&A, which is what I found on the 3 competitors. All right, next let's talk about products. Products are going to be this little section down here on your Google Business Profile. Really all they are is an opportunity to talk about your services again, provide additional content and text, and then provide a link to the corresponding page on your website. It's something that we think is a really good idea to do. It just gives a lot more fullness to your Google Business Profile. I'm not entirely sure how they impact rankings, but I just think it's a good idea to have a fuller Google Business Profile. So it's something that we recommend doing, and we do it for all of the clients that we work with. Now, the reason I'm looking at a painting website is because none of the profiles in this list actually had products, so I couldn't really show an example without typing in another client of ours. So after you've filled all of this information out, go ahead and put in your target city. Your target city should always be where you are physically located as far as where your address is. So in this case for us, it's Buford, Georgia. So that's what we're going to type in here. And then go ahead and just do a quick Google search for the population of your city. In our case, it's 18,130 people. And so I've got a little bit of logic in this sheet that the background will change color based on the difficulty of ranking. Really, the higher the population, the harder it will be to rank in that city, because the bigger the population, the more likely there is to be a lot of other competitors doing what you're trying to do. So under 50,000 is not going to be too hard to rank. And so in our case, it's pretty good. But 50,000 to 100,000, that's one bracket. 100,000 to 250,000, that's another bracket. And then anything over 250,000 is going to be pretty tough. So you'll just need to do a lot more of the tactics associated in some of these other tabs down below to be more competitive in your ranking. But when it comes to a population this low, you should be able to get by with just the items here in the GBP optimization checklist and still be able to see some pretty good results. Okay, now that our competitor sheet is done, let's go ahead and check that off. And now we're going to go down to the GBP optimization info. And so for this, we're actually going to need a separate document that I've linked, and that's going to be this document right here. So this document should contain every single update and optimization that you want to make to your Google Business Profile. A lot of it is pretty self-explanatory to fill out, but I am going to talk about some key things that you should watch for when it comes to filling out this document. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the address. I noticed a pretty big error on their Google Business Profile now, and that's that it does not say Buford, Georgia. It says Hall County, Georgia. And I thought that was pretty odd because a lot of the competitors say Buford, Georgia, and even though we're located there, it's strange why it's not showing up here. I think it's because the address they entered is not correct. And so what I mean by that is if you take a look at this, it says 3280 McKeever Road, 103, number 103. And so I think that's a mistake. I think that this extra 103 here needs to be taken out. I think it'll also be able to put it in Buford, Georgia, where it belongs. So if we make that change, plus we change the category to roofing contractor, then we should have this say roofing contractor in Buford, Georgia, which is the exact keyword that we want to show up for. Back in the document, we already just said what our primary keyword is, and then we already talked about the primary business category that we want also. When it comes to optimized name, sometimes a business will add certain keywords to their Google Business Profile name. The only time where we change it is if a business has multiple locations and we want to designate which location that is. So an example of this is we work with a foundation repair contractor. They have one location located in Kansas City, and then they have another one located in Overland Park, which is a suburb of Kansas City. And so in that case, we just gave it their name plus Kansas City, and then their name plus Overland Park. That way it was easy to distinguish between the two. As far as putting different keywords in the title, it does work, but it's not something that we do because Google explicitly states in their policy that you're supposed to have your Google Business Profile name match your exact business. But a lot of people do it. People get away with it too. So I'm not recommending you do that, but I'm just recommending that you optimize the name to be the most helpful to the consumer. So let's get into the Google Business Profile description. A lot of times when we're looking at somebody's business description, it's either too short or it doesn't give a full picture of everything that business has to offer. And so we wrote a pretty easy ChatGPT prompt to generate this really quickly without having to think too much about it. So go ahead and grab this prompt and paste it into your ChatGPT, but you don't want to use it right away. We included different brackets in here that you should update. And so that's your primary category, your city, your business name, your primary service, and then different services that you offer. Additionally, under the colon, you'll want to include information about your business. So what we do here is we just go to the client's website, go to their About page, and then just copy some information from their About page. Head back over to ChatGPT and paste it. Make sure you clean up any sentences or things that you may not want to include, but once you have what you need, just go ahead and press the enter button. ChatGPT is going to give you your Google Business Profile description, and we can take that and then paste it into our document here. So for the opening date, if you are a freelancer or an agency and you're working with a client and you forgot to ask them when their business opened or it's not located on their About page, what we like to do is go to a site called What Is My DNS. They have a domain name age checker, and you could type in their domain here and it'll tell you when it was registered. We like to use that as a good benchmark to go off of when it comes to when did they open their business, because around the same time they probably registered the domain, unless they're like 100 years old or something. But in this case, they registered this in February 2021, and I also believe that's around the time they started, so that's what we'll put down for their opening date. The service areas part is pretty self-explanatory. Just type out all of the different cities and suburbs that you serve in your area that aren't more than 2 hours away. You can add all of these to your Google Business Profile, and it'll show them when customers are searching for your services. Next up is hours of operation, which that's also pretty self-explanatory. Just go ahead and type that in. And now we get on to products, which is what we were talking about a little bit before. Products are going to consist of a picture, a description, and then a link that can go back to your website. What I would recommend for your products is really just take a look at all of the service pages that you currently have and then try to make products for each one of those. The reason I say that is because when you set up products but they don't really have a destination, they're okay, but then later you'll have to go back in and add those links ideally. And so I would just start with the services you currently have, make products for those, and make sure they get linked back to the appropriate service page on your website. But for now, let's go ahead and plan out all of the content for the products that we're going to be adding to our Google Business Profile. For this, again, we made a ChatGPT prompt. And you actually don't have to modify this one at all. You can simply just type it in. Ideally, type it into the exact same conversation that you were using to generate your business profile description. And then what you can do is just start typing in all of your different services. So let's go back to the website and we see roof replacement. All you have to do is type in roof replacement. And then this is the first product. So go ahead and copy this entire thing and we're going to paste it right in here. So I already filled out a couple of products, but ideally I would go through and do this for all of the different products, which is something that we will be doing a bit later. Let's go on to the custom services. So within your Google Business profile, you're able to add custom services. And so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to take this prompt, which is pretty similar to the last one. It just limits the character count and switches the title around a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. Make sure that when you get your output, if it looks too similar or it looks like it's repeating itself too much, feel free to ask ChatGPT to give you another iteration. That way you can mix it up a little bit and not have it all sound too similar. So go ahead and select this whole thing, and then you'll paste it in here and keep doing it for each one of your services again. So for this last part, Google actually has existing services that you can select for your Google Business profile. You're going to want to select all of the ones that apply to you and then write out service descriptions for each one. Again, we follow the exact same prompt, except we're not going to be including the city in the titles this time because Google Business Profile is already going to define those titles for us. So really all we're going to put in is the description. It's kind of hard to know what all of these are going to be until you actually get into your Google Business Profile. So it's totally fine if you save this part for later and then go in and make your Google Business Profile updates first and then come back to get all of the descriptions generated with ChatGPT. Alright, so now we're done with all of the preparation. It's time to actually go and make all of these updates to our Google Business Profile. So go ahead and just type in your name in Google and you should see this information here. We're going to go ahead and hit Edit Profile, and then we're going to get through making a lot of the changes that we outlined in our optimization document. Some of the changes that we make are not included in that optimization document, so I'll be going through them kind of step by step to tell you about some of the things to watch for. So let's get this category updated. So I got them down for roofing contractor, siding contractor, and gutter service because those are the three main things that they're offering here. Okay, we update the description. Now on to opening date. You can add the day if you know it, but it's not really that important. Yeah, they did not even have a website, which is really, really bad. Also, they didn't have all of their social profiles, so you can usually find these linked on their website. If not, you'll just kind of have to do a manual search to see if you can find them just in Google. But luckily they have them all linked up here, so I'm just going to add these links. Okay, we got all of their socials added. Let's go ahead and fix this address here. Service areas are all in, so that looks good. Business hours look good. So for a lot of the extra stuff down here, you can add hours just based on the type of business you are. Mostly for restaurants, you know, when is your kitchen closed, when do you do lunch, you know, things like that. You can also identify specific things such as, you know, if you're, you know, woman-owned, black-owned, you can certainly put that down here. Accessibility, you know, are you wheelchair accessible? Again, none of this really applies to our client, but there's just a lot of different options that you may check out because they could be relevant for your Google Business listing. And so definitely check them out and add them because they do show on Google Maps when people are searching and they're looking for additional information. So yeah, that's all there is to it for the general information. So we'll wait for those edits to get pushed through, but we will go ahead and close this down for now. Let's get into adding the products. Go ahead and press Edit Products here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And then let's copy exactly what we have in the document. So Beaufort roof replacement. The category is roofing. And if you're curious about this, you categorize them under your main service line and then put in all of the different products underneath it. You know, that I think that's going to make the most sense here. You can add your pricing here if you want, the description. So let's go ahead and copy all of this text here. And let's go ahead and paste it in. Yeah, sometimes ChatGPT is going to give you something that doesn't hit the word count. So in that case, just kind of trim it up. Then we're just going to get the URL. And now all we need is a photo. I'm going to go ahead and grab it off of this page somewhere. So when it comes to the photos, I highly recommend that you use original pictures only. You can use stock, but it's just not going to look as good. So I did rename this picture to Buford Roof Replacement before I uploaded it. And it's just a habit of mine. I haven't actually measured to see if that makes a difference. So, don't really quote me on that, but I just think it's a good practice. So we're going to go ahead and publish. And that's really all there is to adding products. You'll just want to repeat this same process for everything that you included in your document. All right, so next let's talk about adding your services. So we're going to click on this button here, and we're going to be presented with the screen that we see here. Really all we're wanting to do is press all of the different services that apply to your business, and they're all going to get added to your Google Business profile. So once you hit save, you're going to be presented with this screen here. These are all of those pre-selected services that I was talking about at the end of the document here. When you click into one of these, you'll be prompted to enter a price and a service description. The price again is totally up to you, but I highly recommend adding in the service description. You can use the exact same prompt that you did above. They're very similar to custom services. The only difference is that you cannot set the full title of a predefined service. All you can do is write in the description. So go ahead and add a description for each one of these. So earlier we talked about custom services as well. You'll want to determine which category your custom service goes under, and then press add more services and then add custom service. So we're under roofing contractor, where we're going to add in our custom services. And now that we added our custom services in there, we just click in and then we can add the service description that we generated earlier. Again, watch the character count. ChatGPT sometimes may go a little bit over, so just watch what you're pasting in and modify it accordingly before you save the changes to your Google Business profile. Make sure you repeat this process for every service, both predefined and custom. They should all have descriptions to the best of your ability. Fill it all out. All right, so I'm going to have my team kind of fill out the rest of this, add in all of the other services, other products. I just wanted to show you these two just for the sake of example. But now we can go ahead and mark this off and move on to some of the other optimizations. Okay, next up we're going to talk about responding to all of the reviews on your Google Business profile. This is something that could still take a little while, but we're going to use ChatGPT to help make things a lot faster for us. First thing you'll want to do is just go ahead and open up your reviews and find one that hasn't been replied to. So in this case, it's this one right here. Go ahead and press the reply button. Click View Full Review if some of it is missing. And then we're going to copy this, and then we're going to go to ChatGPT. Just go ahead and type in, write me a short response to this review, and paste. And so you can just take something like this, copy, paste it here, and that's all there is to it. So you're going to want to go through and do this for every single review. You don't have to do it all in the same day, just try to get it done as soon as you can. So now let's talk about adding images and videos. So when we were looking at the competitor sheet earlier, we had seen that the average images between all of our competitors is about 129, and we also know that the images that we uploaded is only about 29. So that means that we should add about 100 pictures to our Google Business profile. These pictures should be original photos too. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to upload stock photography. We want to upload real pictures of our work, of our team, our building, our logo, etc. When it comes to getting these pictures, there are a few places you can start. For one, check out their Facebook and Instagram. It's highly likely that they've got pictures on here that they have not uploaded to their Google Business profile. And so just go through and save a lot of these, as many as you can. And it looks like our client has enough to where we can probably close that 100 photo gap pretty easily without having to take any new pictures. So if you don't have a lot of pictures on social media, then you really just need to start taking them. Take pictures of your team, take pictures of your building, your office, your food, your products, just really anything that you do, just take pictures and upload them to Google. Because, what better place to post pictures of your actual products and services than a place where customers are most likely to find you first. When you've got all of the photos that you want, just come in here and press Photos, and then add photos, and you can drag and drop all of your pictures right into this box to start uploading them. So once they're uploaded, they're just going to be pending for a little bit, but you're done here. And we can go ahead and mark this off as done. The Q&A is pretty easy. Just hop over to the Google Business Profile and answer any outstanding questions that may be in here, and just answer them to the best of your ability. You know, you can even use ChatGPT in this case. Some people like to use a separate Gmail account to ask the questions, and then they'll come in on the main account to answer them. I'm not saying that's something that you need to do. You could do it if you want to just add in some frequently asked questions. Sometimes we'll do it, sometimes we won't. In this case, I'm not going to do it. And since they've already answered all of the different questions, then I'm just going to mark this as complete. Yeah, I guess I already did link your social media, and I did that when I was going through the optimization info, so I'm going to go ahead and cross that off too. And now all we really have left are posts. So ideally you want to be posting, or at least what we do is we post once per week to our Google Business Profiles that we manage. You could write a post manually by coming in here and just clicking on this little down arrow and pressing add update. You can add an update, an offer, or an event. All of them will show up as posts. But what we're going to be talking about here is just a general update. You can add your picture and then add your description, and then you can add a button. And this button is actually a link that you can send either to your website or to some other landing page on the internet. So the only downside about adding your posts here is that you can't schedule them. You can log in here and post, you know, once a week, but it's going to be a lot of time trying to do all of that and like try to find time in your day to make a post to your Google Business Profile. We're going to show you the way that we do it here. So we actually use a software called Go High Level, and it has a social planner built into it. And the social planner lets us pre-write a bunch of Google Business Profile posts that will all go out and post once a week for us, so we don't have to really do it manually. Go High Level might be a little pricey for some, so you can find a variety of different tools that'll do this for you. We used to use Social Pilot, and it's also a pretty good program for scheduling social media posts. You can have something go out to your Google Business Profile. You can have it go out to your Facebook, have it go out to your Instagram, TikTok, and so you can really cover all of your different social media accounts at one time. So I highly recommend you pick up one of these tools. There's plenty of them out there. They're all pretty good. They all do what you need to do. But just sit down and write out 26 posts, and that way you can get through 6 months of content by just getting it all done at one time and scheduled at one time. If you're looking for a pretty easy way to generate these posts, I have a ChatGPT prompt that you can use right here. It's not in this spreadsheet, but I'll be sure to include it in the one that you get in the description below. Just go ahead and paste this in, change the bracketed variables to your information. Once you have everything updated, just press enter, and it should give you all of your posts. So again, like with anything generated from ChatGPT, be sure to review all of this and make sure that it's, you know, actually what you want. But definitely just do some maintenance yourself to these posts. You can copy all of these and paste them into this document if you want a good place to save them. And then after you save them, just, you know, use whatever tool you're using, whether it's Social Pilot, Go High Level, you know, whatever you happen to pick. Go ahead and schedule these all in. We usually post them once a week on Mondays, but feel free to do whatever schedule you'd like. But one post a week for 26 weeks is going to get you 6 months of content that you can set up all at one time, and then you're covered for half of the year. Just make sure you do this again 6 months later, and you're covered for the whole year. So after you take care of your post, then that is all. You have crossed everything off of this initial list, and that means your Google Business Profile is fully optimized. Really, after this, the only thing that you want to do is continue to get reviews, continue to add new images to your Google Business Profile, and then just keep posting to keep it active. If you can do those 3 things after going through this optimizations list and keep doing them consistently, you're going to see a really big difference in the results that your Google Business Profile brings to your actual business. Now, there's still a number of things you can do to improve your local SEO. This includes a lot of changes that happen on your website, and this also includes a lot of changes that happen off of your website. In a future video, I'm going to go over this next tab, which is the Website Optimizations Checklist, and then I'm going to go over how to improve your citations, your online listings, and how to actually build links for your website so that you can improve your Google Business Profile ranking as well as your website's local organic ranking. But as for this video, that's all I'm going to cover. Please like and subscribe. As I said, I'm going to be continuing this series, and I'm going to go through all of the steps that we go through with real clients to get them really great results with local SEO. Until next time, I will see you later.